527, House Bill 809. The bill states that if a pesticide bears an EPA-approved label, the manufacturer has satisfied their duty to warn and can't be held liable on a civil action. And here's why we citizens oppose this, I guess. The bill uses the government agency to create a liability shield, allowing manufacturers to hide behind outdated and inadequate labels, despite new science showing risk that manufacturers should have known about, and report outcomes where fraud was revealed. It punishes victims for EPA failure to adequately assess pesticides, and it violates Article 1, Section 6 of the Tennessee Constitution that says the right of trial by jury shall remain inviolate. So, you guys, it looks like, voted for Representative Fritz, Representative Alexander, Representative Harshbarger, and Senator Crow voted against. So, Senator Crow, do you want to speak about why you voted against that?
Well, I'll just tell you that I don't trust the big companies. You know, they're making money and what they do. And, I felt like just because the federal government had to put it on a label, that this is something to be wary of, when we've seen so many families having to sue and really go down those roads because of the pesticides that are being used. And again, there are some good points on both sides of this. You know, our farms use this, and we need as many crops as we can. But I just felt like I just didn't trust that whole scenario. You know, I'm like really probably all of us up here. I know Monty is, and the rest of us. When I vote for something, I not only listen to the people, you try to figure out what's the right thing to do, and you always think when we get to the pearly gates, if I voted the right way. But I just felt there was something wrong.
I think Trump just said that, right? That's what he's trying.
He is now.
That ain't the way he did it.
He is now. Yeah. But you're right. It's just it just didn't feel right, and I think just because the federal government had to put that on a label, it's on a bottle of that stuff. That didn't mean that.
Do you feel like that's relied on too much?
People should be able to come back if they're harmed with it and have in a civil suit type of way. I really think.
Thank you. Representative Harshbarger, you want to talk about why you voted for it?
So I got a chance to vote on this sucker 3 times. It came through Energy and Ag, and then it got double referred back to Judiciary, and we voted on it on the Senate floor. Did it make it to the House floor? No. Okay, that's what I'm talking about. So it's still open.
It's anything past this past year will still be voted on this year in the other house.
So I looked at it, I put my pharmacist hat on, which I try not to do, but I looked at it from a clinical aspect for reporting. So in the pharmacy world, we have FDA-approved products, FDA-approved labeling. So there is nothing that you can put on that label that's not been approved by that federal agency. So if you do try to put something on, it's considered misbranded, which opens up a whole Pandora's box of litigation. And that can lead down to either misbranded or adulterated products. So the way I looked at it, I call this not necessarily the pesticide. I called it in my own head the EPA label. So I took what I know of the FDA, tried to grasp what the EPA does, and the EPA does a similar fashion to where they will approve certain labeling. And after talking with Bernadette, I think we could probably talk for 40 minutes. I'd say a combined 24 hours over this. When she's open eyes to a certain thing, once you start really digging in the weeds, but I looked at it as a labeling issue. So I do not want to penalize someone for something that they cannot lawfully do. And that's why I voted in favor of it 3 different times. So it's more of a principle of the EPA. Now I do say this, you know, the rest of the I had the same fear of, you know, trusting large companies, and I probably, in all honesty and transparency, probably put a little bit too much trust in the EPA, which is not good. Because there are different facets where there are checks and balances that allows them. For example, in the pharmaceutical industry, you have the med watch. So you, whether you're a patient, a consumer, a prescriber, you can actually input the adverse events. And that's recorded, it's reported, and it's analyzed by the FDA. EPA has the same mechanism. So that's where I kind of made that connection and once again, put it in.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I was going to just tell Bernadette and Danielle that if they want to know the real reason I voted for this, my wife Sarah said, don't come home if you do.
That's probably the best reason ever.